Before we begin, I want to take the time out to express this, right? Uh, this individual here is presumed innocent until proven guilty in the court of law. All right. We got to let this process play out. But while this process is playing out, individual is presumed innocent until proven guilty in the court of law. Now, this video here, we're going to talk about Trayon White. He's 40 years old, out of Washington, D.C. He is a council member for D.C. And he was recently arrested for taking bribes and kickbacks, according to the FBI. Now, there was a 37-page complaint charging him with one count of bribery. And he also represents Ward 8 out here in D.C. Now, they have a chronological timeline as to how he got caught up in this bribery scheme or whatever. So I'm going to talk about that. Oh, by the way, he's up for re-election as well. And he's very popular. He's very popular. And depending on how this process play out, he is probably going to win re-election in November. All right. So in 2016, and I'll fill in the holes as we go along, but 2016, he entered into a human care agreement, Department of Human Services. The term was for a period of 1 year for not exceed price of $971,342. 4 option years for the respective price of $1.2 million, $1.3 million, and $1.38 million. The DC government exercised option from year 1 in October 26, 2017 to October 25th, 2018, and then option year 2 from October 26, 2018 to October 25th, 2019. This company here will provide case management service for chronically homeless and other highly vulnerable individuals and families experiencing homelessness. So the company that White was taking bribes from was supposed to conduct criminal background checks and hold on. Criminal background checks on all positions listed in the provider's business plan having direct contact with the youth. So the Department of Human Services determined in January 2019 that the majority of the background checks were falsified. February 25th, 2019, the contract was terminated with this company due to the defaulting of the agreement. So the FBI in this affidavit redacted a lot of the who, the what in this affidavit. So it's really hard to read this affidavit because it's all about protecting the confidentiality of the informant and the company that this informant was working for. What's up, y'all? Let's see you up in the building. Jeff Sparks, Manny Man, salute to you. Good to see y'all up on this Friday morning. But when you do some digging, when you do some digging, and I'm going to share my screen, right? See, I was going to come in here and talk about Kamala Harris and that, that little empty nothing burger she put out last night, but got bigger fish to fry. So when you do some digging, nonprofit allegedly behind Trayon White's bribery case was previously accused of falsifying documents. Life Deeds Incorporated was terminated from DC contract for allegedly falsified background checks. Then it went on to receive another $300,000 to do violence interruption work. So this is Trayon White in the car, allegedly putting $10,000 in his jacket pocket. The government contractor turned FBI informant, or RAT, who helped federal agents build a criminal bribery case against Ward 8 Councilmember Trayon White, is not named in the arrest affidavit. That's the affidavit I just read off, right? But specific details in the affidavit, such as precise values of one contract with the district government and the timeline of the firm's dispute over termination of the deal, match those in a years-long appeal in the front of the Contract Appeals Board. The nonprofit Life Deeds Incorporated was previously terminated from a contract with DHS over allegations of falsifying personnel records. A spokesperson for the U.S. Attorney Office for D.C. declined to confirm or refute Life Deeds' connection to the case. An individual by the name of Aliu Kamar, the president and CEO, has not replied to email or phone call seeking comment. So in 2019, Life Deeds was removed as a service provider for a homeless shelter in Ward 7. An internal audit by DHS found that the nonprofits submitted what appeared to be falsified personnel documents, including background checks, drug tests, TB tests, and I want to suspect that means tuberculosis, and other required personnel records of prospective staff. At the time, Kamara denied falsifying documents and said that disgruntled staff was making this up. Life Deeds demanded $4 million in this initial appeal, alleging improper termination, and then lowered that amount to $1.5 million. So, in my suspicion, this Aliu Kamar guy is the rat. What's up, Carla? Good to see you this morning. He's the rat. Now, of course, the feds is not going to come out and confirm or deny that. But from what I've seen, this unnamed guy, this who just happens to turn out to be Aliu Kamar, this guy is the rat. Not long after Kamar's nonprofit was terminated from a contract with one DC government agent over allegation of dishonesty, the nonprofit signed a $300,000 deal with another district agency. Contracting records indicate that the Office of Neighborhood Safety and Engagement hired Life Deeds for meditation and case management service from May 2022 to May 2023. See, this Trayon White allegedly receiving another $5,000 payment in the car. So this whole time, this guy was actually helping the feds. This guy was helping the feds out the whole time. That means for years, Trayon White has been under the watchful eye of the feds. There's a new wrinkle to this, and this wrinkle comes in from a recent Supreme Court ruling. If y'all remember, there was a recent Supreme Court ruling about corruption, right? And I'm gonna get to that. I'm gonna get to that recent Supreme Court ruling about corruption, because this will have a heavy impact on how this case gets played out. If you remember the Snider versus the United States that came out in June 26, 2024, it was a 6-3 decision by the Supreme Court that has basically knocked out a lot of the safeguards against public corruption, which now, in this case, is going to make it very hard for the prosecution to convict this guy. And I'm going to share that part of this Supreme Court ruling that came out recently. Let's see, go back here. Let's go to Walata. So you see right here, 6-3 decision in the Snider versus United States, which dramatically narrows federal safeguards against state public corruption. So you can see here that Snider versus United States, James Snider was a mayor of Portage, Indiana. He accepted more than 13 grand in kickbacks from a local truck dealership as a reward for steering the dealership more than $1 million in city contracts. He was prosecuted for violating federal law that bars state and local government officials from corruptly accepting anything of value, right, intending to be influenced or rewarded for an official act. This has long been understood to criminalize both the knowing acceptance of bribes as well as gratuities. The majority opinion, authored by Justice Brett Kavanaugh and joined by the other conservative members of the court, throws this long-standing interpretation out the window. The court reversed Snyder's conviction, holding that the law applies only to bribes, not gratuities. The justification for reaching this result is a somewhat tortured analysis of both the law's wording and that the fact that it's structurally different than any other statute prohibits bribes and gratuities for federal officials. So basically, what you got here is this guy getting off on the technicality, and now we have a precedent, right? There's precedent, which means that if I'm a defense attorney, right, which I'm not, but if I was, then I would use this for my defense. I would use this statute right here as precedent for my defense for Trayon White. Because, see, despite the fact that when the feds kick down your door waving the 4-4, having a high conviction rate, but when you have this recent Supreme Court ruling that came out, then it's going to throw a big wrench into everything. It's going to throw a big wrench into everything. So they say he allegedly took $156,000 and hold on. Come back here. Come back here. So apologize for the delay. Just trying to get back on track, right? So in this arrest affidavit, they say there was 4 specific meetings between the confidential human source or the rat, snitch, whatever you want to call him, right? Aliu Kamar, in which the council member accepted a total of $35,000 in cash payments. He is alleged to agree to accept a total of $156,000 in cash and kickbacks, and that the informant also told the feds that he gave White gifts, including trips to the Dominican Republic and Vegas. In secretly recorded meetings, White agrees to use his acknowledged position as an influential figure in the DC's violent prevention efforts to ensure that the informant's contracts are renewed. Is disproportionately impacted by violent crime and poverty, and he has been a long outspoken advocate for peace in times at a critic of the DC's crime prevention strategies. He's also known for showing up the crime scenes throughout the ward. So, reading that tells me that this man's heart is in the right place. Even though he's taking bribes and kickbacks and stuff like that, but he is trying to actually do something for the community, for his community that he's in charge of representing, right? That's what I'm getting from reading that. That's what it's telling me. He is recognizing a problem and he is trying to do something about this problem. The only problem is he is going about it through illegal means. That's what I'm getting from that. Now, could I be wrong on that? Yes. If you disagree, I want to know about it in the comments. Just, keep it respectful. What's up, Hamza S? Salute to you, bro. Once again, all parties in this case are presumed innocent until proven guilty in the court of law. So, in this one meeting where he accepted $5,000 in cash allegedly, he's like, yeah, I got great weight when it comes to violence and work on that council. He was released from custody Monday morning following an initial court hearing. The next scheduled hearing is for September 19th. It is unclear whether that will impact let me back up because getting all tongue twisted. It is unclear what impact the accusation will have on his political and personal future. He won the Democratic primary in June, which all but ensures a third term. At the election, however, White reportedly left the country for a tropical vacation right in the middle of the council's crucial budget deliberations. He attended the second and final vote virtually, but the vacation raised questions about how effective he could have been in lobbying and advocating for Ward 8 budget priorities without being in the room for other council members. Now, In this case, he faces 15 years in prison. He faces 15 years in prison if convicted. But as I stated earlier in the stream, recent changes in the corruption law in the Snider versus U.S. case, or Snider versus the United States, where that took place around June the 26th of this year, could have an impact potentially on this particular case. If I'm a defense attorney, which I'm not, but if I was, we have legal precedent, and we can use that legal precedent to try to get off Trayon White. Because, like I said, even though this doesn't look good from the perspective of him taking bribes and shit like that, but it doesn't discount the fact that this man's heart is in the right place, that he's actually trying to do something about the homelessness, the violent crimes, and things of that nature. But you guys let me know what y'all think about this case. All right, YouTube ain't sending out notification for this one. So when you do comment, hit the like button, share the video, and support the channel. And if you want to donate to my channel, there's my Cash App, there's the PayPal, and also take super chat donations as well. But I appreciate everybody for tuning in. If you're not a subscriber to this channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and share these videos on your social media platforms. Shouts out to the LDBC. This your man. Scream at me. Hurry!